So I wanted to come on and make this video because it seems to be that captaincy is not the way that we originally thought. There seems to be a lot of different things heading into match day 1 that we have now found out is a little bit different as to what we previously thought throughout the tournament. So I wanted to make this video just to kind of clear things up if you were still a little bit confused, and how you could possibly use that to your advantage to get a lot more points for the remainder of the tournament. So let's jump straight into it. So according to the FIFA rules, this is what it says in the how to play section of how captaincy is going to work in this game. Now we've got, for each match day you must select a captain and vice captain, as we all know. You'll be able to change your captain and vice captain by pressing the icon, etc, etc. We all know how captaincy does work, but the main thing we want to be looking at is these two bits at the bottom here, which says during a live match day you can change your captain an unlimited amount of times, as long as the new selected captain is yet to play in the current match day. Once your captain has played in the match day, you're able to change your captain once more for another player who is yet to play. If you choose to change your captain, you will lose their double points and your new captain will score double instead. Now this is the bit that has confused everyone, and we haven't really had a clear definition up until now as to what this does mean. Now previously, as I have mentioned in my videos, looking at this, I'm reading this saying you're able to change your captain once more for another player. So once your captain is played in the match day, you can then change them once more, one more time, for another player who has yet to play. And then once that is, done, that is you. You've got two captaincy changes and that is it. But now, looking back on it, we have had this tweet from Tom Hadley FPL, which does confirm that you can change your captain more than once, which does mean you can change your captain essentially an unlimited amount of times, and you will just lose the points from your previous captain. But it essentially means every single match you can have a captaincy. So if we look at our match day 1 fixtures here, we've got 16 total fixtures. You can have a captaincy in every single one of those fixtures, and that'll just mean you essentially get double points from whoever you choose. So now looking back at the rules, that tells me that what FIFA have tried to say is once your captain is played in the match day, you're able to change your captain once more for another player who's yet to play, if that makes sense. So in all honesty, it's an absolute terrible way of wording it, because I think me and the majority of people do look at that thinking once more means you get one more captaincy change. But essentially what they're trying to say is you can change your captain once more, then they'll play their match and you can change them once more again, and then you can change them once more. So it seems to be such a confusing way of trying to get their point across. But what this does do is open up a whole new bunch of strategies that you can potentially use, obviously trying to utilise this captain as much as possible. So this is what I put together. Essentially, if you pick 15 players, all from different teams, that none of them play against each other, so you've got 15 players playing in 15 different matches, you can literally captain every single one of your players at least once. The only way that this is going to, be a negative is if someone early on scores highly. For example, today Kingsley Coman went and scored 18 points, Elise scored 19 points, but we've still got 14 more matches to play. If someone is to go and score higher than that, then that's the only way you really miss out. But you essentially get 15 chances at captaincy if this is the way that you want to play it. So it's essentially impossible to score bad with your captaincy, because you can just captain someone new every single game until you get a score that you're happy with, and then you just stick with them. So it does kind of rule the maximum captaincy booster chip as a little bit pointless, because obviously we expected the max captain to be a way to nail your captaincy. Whoever gets the most points that match day is going to be your captain. Everyone else is stuck to just picking between two players. But now, I think most people are going to be able to get about 7, 8, maybe even 9 captains out of their team each match day. So the maximum captain really isn't going to be that great, because a lot of people are probably going to have, a really good captaincy anyway. So there's not really much of a benefit there. Just to explain that a little bit further, the maximum captaincy is essentially only useful for when captaincy options are playing simultaneously. So if you don't really know what that means, obviously today we've seen the likes of Kingsley Coman, Harry Kane and Elise all playing together. A lot of people had that triple up. Obviously when you're on the max captaincy, you're guaranteeing yourself having the captain of whoever scores the most points. In this case, Elise was the one that scored the most points, whereas if you are just playing normally and captaining someone in every single day, you probably would have went for Harry Kane today, who only did score 2 points, which means you've now lost the opportunity to captain Olise or Coleman. However, you can now captain someone else for every other match still to come in match day 1. So like I said, it does kind of rule the maximum captain a little bit useless in the group stages, at least where there is so many possible captaincy options. So now, if you haven't played the maximum captain in match day 1, you probably are just better off saving the maximum captain until the later rounds, for example the semis, or probably the final, which is going to be the most likely, the most effective time to use that chip, because there is only one captaincy that you can have. Yes, the ceiling will be a lot lower, maybe only 10 points or so, but you are nailing yourself having the highest scoring player in the final as your captain, whereas obviously now in the groups you can just keep on hoping that someone in each match is going to score a little bit higher than, you know, who your previous captaincy was. So it's a little bit confusing, but like I said, the maximum captain isn't as effective as we had originally thought, and it is just a little bit unfortunate how it has been worded and how confusing it has been for match day 1, but at least we do know now going into the future match days. Now, as far as I know, subs are going to work the exact same as we did originally think. If you play Champions League Fantasy, they should work the same way. I don't think there's any confusing things here that could trip someone up. As far as I know, once your player's played, you can sub them off for someone on your bench, and that is it. You know, you lose the points for that player you've subbed off, and you gain the points for the player that you have brought on. I don't think there's any confusing things there that should mess anyone up, but we have already had obviously this, you know, big mess up with the captaincy, big confusion I should say with the captaincy, and we also saw the deadline last night being brought an hour forward, so we don't know what else is going to be happening. You know, we are still very, very early into this, only 2 or 3 matches in, and there probably is going to be more surprises, you know, going forward with the rest of the tournament. So make sure to follow me over on Twitter. We have lots of discussions over this stuff as well. Hopefully the rest of the tournament does go swimmingly, because I'm starting to see a lot of people getting frustrated and just giving up with this tournament. I think we've got about 160,000 users so far, and I imagine they probably lost a good couple of thousand with the confusion that we have now seen from match day 1, and probably what is still to come. So like I said, make sure to follow me over on Twitter, and if you've got any questions, make sure to ask me over on there. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like. Hopefully it did clear some things up for you for the captaincy, and we will see where the rest of the game goes. Make sure to subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you all in the next video.